Welcome again. I'll tell you briefly what is this gathering. So Wise Crowds, it's a space we create just to work with liberated instructors because we have a monthly gathering for virtual facilitation. And we started doing this separate event focused on liberated instructors. So lots of alumni come to practice, new people come, other seasoned practitioners come. So it's always a mix. And this is what we are going to do. Improve our practice with liberated instructors. So we'll be playing with liberated instructors. Find new ways to combine structures to get some different strings. So it's always a surprise what comes up. And we add this third bullet to connect with other practitioners. So some people are in the same region or in the same city. Sometimes they just meet here. So why not keep this connection offline as well? In the agenda, we are on the second block, welcome and orientation. We'll be doing an exercise for connection, which is very nice. I'll give you the instructions in a minute. We'll be doing the Wise Crowds, which is one liberated instructor, and then we'll be refining an agenda using a Google Slides. I will show you how to use it. It's very easy, but it helps us to get a concrete result after the Wise Crowds. And then we'll be sharing in what each small group did in the breakouts, the highlights, and we close. It's fast. So, abundant greetings. That's the connection exercise you'll be doing. So if you are tired of doing impromptu networking, that's a very nice option. So the concept, it's the opposite of that. Hi, how are you? I'm good, and you? Thanks. So this very superficial greeting, it's a more dense and abundant greeting to respect people in a good way. So you'll have time to really introduce yourself and greet people. So let me put in the chat how it works. You will be in triads. There will be, I think, 2 groups of 4. So you have to be a little bit faster, but the idea is that each person has between 2.5 to 3 minutes in total to greet other people in the group, responding some prompts that are below. So we can read them before you get there. And after the person starts, the time counts. So the time is for that person. When the time is done, another person comes up, greet the others, so on and so forth. So I'll put actually 11 minutes in the breakout. So it gives more time for people who are being triads. And, oh, now I can have one more triad. Just a minute. Let me move. Lindsay, you'll be explaining for Rachel what we'll be doing. Welcome, Rachel. You'll not be in a room with team again.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, so we have now triads, 6 triads. I'll put the timer for 10 minutes. So it's enough for each one of you have 3 minutes for greeting the other people. And also introduce yourselves quickly to discover who will be the first. So just put in the chat again for you, Rachel, what we'll be doing. All clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so see you in 10 minutes. Enjoy.
No.
No. Welcome back. If you want to use this structure in development, just put the link in the chat. There are tons of prompts. So in our experience, between 5 and 7 is enough. Less is not so rich, and too much, people spend like 90 minutes discussing the prompts and how awesome they are. So fine balance. All good? Okay, so we'll be doing the Wise Crowds. If you don't know Wise Crowds, it's very similar to Troika Consulting, where you have a client instead of just 2 people, because the Troika happens in a triad. We have more people, up to 5, 6 people max. So in our case, we will have 4 people in the room. So 1 client and 3 consultants. And the process is the same, just the times are larger, a little larger because people need more time to discuss and address the challenge. So 3 minutes for the client to present the challenge, 3 minutes for clarifying questions, not to solve the challenge or the problem, but just to understand better what is happening and how they can better help. And then the client turns the camera and the mic off, gets ready to take notes. In 9 minutes, the consultants just go wild, crazy, just sharing what they want to share. In our case, we'll be framing this challenge that we are requesting for clients. It's an event or something that you want to use liberating structures and you want more suggestions and ideas. So it can be an event or a training, AGM, whatever, anything that you have as a challenge, a real one coming up to you. So now is the time. We have place for 4 clients. So if you have a challenge, raise your hand or use the reactions in the chat. So we have Sarah, Rachel, Silk was just spoken the nose. No, it's okay. So we have three people. Okay.
4.
Who is the 4th? Christine. Perfect. So let me just I'll put a red dot in front of your name just to help me organize. So we have Christine, Rachel, Silk, and Sarah, right? Okay. So let me launch a quick poll just to see how we are in relation to liberating structures. I know a little in practice, a lot. Let me see here. Yeah, people are curious as well. What are liberating structures? Yeah, it's a nice mix. Let me show you the results. So with this in mind, just if you know how to rename yourself, just add one of these dots in front of your name, just to spread people properly in the breakouts. And let me recreate these groups. Oh, actually 4. And here is 16. Okay.
How would you like us to do the dots, Fernando? Like, what color for which thing? Do you know what I mean? Like, did you say you wanted us to put dots in front of our names?
You did it, Jen.
Yep.
You did it.
That's Lindsay asking, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
Lindsay asking. I thought that was Jen.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, so I wasn't sure which color.
The idea is to have
it's
you
in the
with a
chat.
green dot, Lindsay, because you know stuff.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just distributing people. Let me get
Everybody clear on renaming? Anybody need to know
How
about
do
that?
we,
How do you add it? I don't.
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Is this
You
Clio?
just go, you can just highlight the dot in the chat, the color that you want to use. Then you click and copy it, and then you click on your rename and your 3 dots in your picture, and then you put your cursor right before your name and you click paste.
Jane and Fernando, I renamed myself, but somehow I can't see the colors of.
It's okay.
We can see yours. We can see yours, Marcus.
This is just
it's a start.
It's just a diversion for me to have time to set up the breakout.
Yeah.
We have something to do. Okay, so let me just double check here. Awesome. So the idea is to get in the, I'll put just one more link in the chat if you need a reference. So the idea is to have, I'll put again the sequence just for you to follow in the chat. So client will start 3 minutes. Consultants, one of you needs to be the timekeeper. So keep the time sharp. 3 minutes for the client, 3 minutes for clarifying questions. Client goes off. consultants go crazy. And in the last minute, clients come back and share one thing that was valuable. Just to make you more comfortable, you have another round of 60 minutes to go deeper on this challenge with the same consultants. So don't bother being, oh, I have to solve my life in 60 minutes. No, it's okay. We have more time. Okay. And if you need any help, you can ask for help. I can show up in the room. Not sure if I can help anyone, but I can try. Da-da-da. Oh, good. See you on the other side. Nice. Silky, did you have time to say for your consultants what was valuable?
No.
In our
No, yeah.
group, we didn't have.
I was seeing the icon. She's still muted, still with the camera off, but it's okay. We'll have time in the next round, so no problem.
Okay.
Was it good? So clients, firing any consultant, we can remove them from the call if needed. They're very inclusive here. Okay, so the next step is to work with the client again, using this artifact that I will show. Okay, Marcos, no problem. I'll show on the screen how this document looks like and some tips to better work with the client. So first slide is just the agenda. We have the icons. So all the icons are grouped with the names of the structures. And this is one slide as an example. So the client, consultants, critical objectives in order. So the main one first, the second, the third. And here we can copy and paste and start creating strings. And also we can have options. For example, oh, instead of hey, jar star and the hertz in respect, you can use the star. Instead of trees, you can use 2510, so on and so forth. And you can also get some invitations going if you have time. So we have already, let me just duplicate this. Here's some tips. First thing, when you get there, get one of the slides, write the name of the client, the consultants, and write the critical objectives on the top, because they will guide the selection of the structures that you are thinking to use. Stay in a space of possibilities. There is no right or wrong, better or worse strings. So keep adding. If you want to create more than one string, you're more than welcome. Use and abuse of yes and. As you said, there is no right or wrong. Remember to copy and paste the icon. Sometimes people take the icon from the slide and your colleague stays looking for that same icon and can find it. And one special tip is first focus on the string itself, like the flow of the process. And if you have time, you can refine invitation. But if it makes sense for you to go deep in one invitation specifically, it's okay as well. But to get the string going, it's better to get this flow first and then start the invitations. So yeah, let me just put the names here and you can follow. So Sarah will be on the first. Oh, sorry, I'm renaming here. So Silk will be in the second, just to have the same order of the groups. Silk is on this slide. And Christine will be in the third. This way you don't have to fight for slides. And Rachel. Okay, so you have the link in the chat. All good? 60 minutes. This time the client stays on, fully on, and you have actually the leading role on this process, because we will be leading this string somewhere. So you're in charge of guiding your colleagues. And if you don't know, or if the group doesn't know one structure, but it's very important to use, keep it there. We can discuss a little bit after. Okay. Here we go. See you on the other side. Enjoy. Everybody's back. Yeah, we lost a few people along the way. No problem. So next step is actually a very selfish request because I didn't see anything happen, just the slides going. So the idea now is to have each group sharing, not exactly what happened, all the story, but more the highlights of the string and what did you discover? Can be the client. Usually the client, if the client gives a little bit of context, makes more sense to understand the string. And then consultants jump in and add. So I can share the screen on my side to get this captured on the recordings.
I'm happy to start.
Silky.
Yeah.
Let me just get the slides going. Sarah's back.
I don't know what happened. I just got completely ejected.
Yeah, it happens, Sarah. Usually if you update Zoom, these weird behaviors stop.
Oh, yeah.
So try to update. We are now sharing the highlights of the group, Sarah. I just put on the chat again. So not be sharing the whole story, just the highlights and what you find out using this process. So let me find Zilki. Here we are.
Yeah.
Go on, Zilki, take away.
This was about a 2-day workshop with a client that suffered a major reorganization and people haven't met due to the pandemic, et cetera, and also needed to change offices and so forth. And this is a team building activity really for 2 days. So the main objective here is to build trust and create openness. And because it's a group of engineers, it's really important not to waste their time with, fluffy stuff, but that they have something concrete to take away. And we talked about dedicating the first day to the social component. So getting to know each other, social networking, and learning more about each other with impromptu networking, maybe appreciative interviews. And then one idea was the celebrity interview with the boss, so that they would also get to know the boss. And if he's open, I sense that he is. And then in the second day, start moving into solutions, but maybe with the 15% solutions. So it's not, complete, because probably it's going to take a long time for this whole situation to be dealt with. And we talked about what fascinated me most is probably this TRIZ, reverse engineer failure, because there is a lot of destructive behavior going on right now. And for the engineers, that would probably be a great structure, or maybe purpose to practice. So thank you very much. This was a great group of consultants. I'm all set for the workshop.
Oh, Cleo team, Sherry, I think she left, right? Anything to add, consultants?
I think the only thing I would add, which is Silky had some things planned, it's 2 days, and that cadence of conversation in the morning into experience in the afternoon to conversation in the morning, to kind of keep that balance of engagement and energy, creating some bonds, move to experience, dig into some things, move to experience. Nice cadence for the 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zilki's a master of experiential learning. It's been an awesome workshop. Thank you, guys. Who is the next group?
I'll go, although we didn't completely get through ours.
How come, Rachel?
We need more time. We got, okay, so I'll say this. Our situation is bringing a group of people together. You might call it like a formation team or a design team. that is laying the foundation for a new community of practice. So it's people from different parts of an organization who maybe don't normally work together, to set some, standards and some foundational elements for this community of practice before it is open to, a broader group of people, roughly 100-ish people. So we're on slide 12. Are you sure? Oh yeah, you are. So we spent a lot of time on the prompts. I'll say that was like a highlight, was oftentimes thinking of what to do, and what liberating structures is really exciting. You're like, yeah, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, but how are you going to set them up? So I'll say that was validated, that's always probably one of the most difficult parts. So starting with impromptu networking, we have a couple of prompts there, appreciative interviews, and then purpose to practice. Initially, we thought the HSR would be a good one to do, but then also maybe not. So we're also not sure that this population of people, if they know each other or not. So because those people are not selected yet, it's kind of more of a maybe. Mm-hmm. But wanting to really get clear on, what could we do with this community? What's the purpose? Why are we here? And what do we hope to accomplish? What's our vision?
Nice. Consultants.
I just want to say, for me, where I'm somewhat new to this, I really enjoyed the process where we tried to come up with the critical objectives, and Lindsay really helped us kind of walk through. And I like this explore, establish, define. That's sort of what I'm taking away from this, is the need to really set the objectives and in a precise way. Makes it more clear what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Pedram, Lindsay.
Oh, it was just really fun. It's fun. And this is such a wonderful process. We were like, wow, are we ever getting through so much? So no, we enjoyed it. Thank you. Nice.
Yeah, the prompts for purpose to practice are given. You can adapt, but you have 5 prompts, 1 for each step. So it's good to explore. Well, nicely done. Next group
I can go.
Sarah is the first slide. Yeah, here you are.
I'm a teacher. I teach about skills for dying, basically. So I'm teaching a class tonight, which is primarily lecture with a little bit of breakout. And then in a week from now, I have what I call a community integration call. So I was looking for tools and participatory activities to help people integrate what they've learned in the lecture. And there'll be about 150 people on the call, dying people, caregivers, and other death doulas. And so we didn't really quite get ourselves in a flow here, and I'm brand new to all this. So this was just a great starting place. And I don't even really know how to read that in order, because we didn't get to that part. But I guess the things that resonated for me, the TRIZ idea, and the suggestion to do that around how to communicate about this. A big thing people struggle with is how to talk to people, aging parents who aren't ready to talk about dying and aren't ready to have those conversations. So being able to do that reverse engineering for how to do that badly and then to do that well was useful. The spiral journal, which I'm also just learning, but getting people into a more somatic, that spiraling energy felt really helpful. I guess one of the things that's been really helpful was, even just in the last debrief, I can't remember whose it was, getting super clear on my objectives. I thought I was pretty clear on my objectives, and I was quite pleased with them, actually. And then getting into here and realizing, oh, maybe I'm not as precisely clear as I could be. And it's, it's kind of, it's a bit pedantic, but labeling them down with what's the verb at the beginning of each sentence and what's the accomplishment. But I hadn't got that far. I had a little more loosey-goosey. Mm-hmm. So even just starting there, even before I get too far into the string. And then Conversation Cafe, we talked about that. I don't really totally understand what that is, other than just people chatting. And maybe it is just people chatting. And in this group, there's so much shadowed with this material that just giving them an opportunity to chat, I can't shut them up. They love talking about it. So that's kind of what I've been doing in the small groups as well. I guess that's the quick on that. Yeah, and the 9 whys, I can't remember that. Oh, that's going deeper. Yeah, helping people identify their intention. Like what's your guiding intention for this death? And that becomes a kind of tuning fork that you place all decisions against. So getting clear about intentions and purpose. That could be a tool for that.
Is it virtual or face-to-face, Sarah?
Virtual. And there'll be, I can't remember if I said, there'll be about 150 people in it.
Yeah, so Jane can help you with this, the prompts and all the instructions for each structure. We had this all well laid out for virtual. So I'm just giving you more work, Jane, because the workshop is tonight. So.
I know,
Oh no,
I already
this
told her,
one is
I'm
actually
like,
next week. The lecture's tonight,
Well,
the workshop's next week.
yeah.
Okay.
So I told her I'd already give her some one-on-one consulting if she'd like.
Awesome. What else? Jane and Jay.
I think Jay had
I
to
think
leave.
And
Jay had to
Cecilia.
leave, so it's Cecilia and me. Yeah, Cecilia, do you want to go first?
Oh yeah, Dr. J from Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah,
1
no,
a.m.
please go ahead.
Yeah, no, it was a really interesting challenge because it's a lot of people dealing with, a interesting topic that can lead into very direct personal experiences. So there's that kind of connection between the personal experience and the wider knowledge that Sarah's wanting to transmit. So yeah, I think what you said, Sarah, is really wise, which is, yeah, like maybe really defining those critical objectives first will be helpful in getting you to a place where you can say, oh yeah, this is what we need to do. I thought that was really, there was just really good conversation though around, what does it mean to have this emotional content coming in with the sort of delivery of material that Sarah wants to have. So yeah, that's what I would say. It's a complex
I'll just
challenge,
put the
I
link
guess I
for
would
this
say.
rabbit hole here. So Spiral Journal is one of the structures here.
Yeah.
So if you click on the card, all the material is here, some links. Careful, it's a very deep rabbit hole.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So I'll put the link here. And in the chat as well. Rabbit hole. I remember spending like 3 hours just dive into this.
Yeah. So yeah, we didn't get a chance to do invitations. It was we were too focused on what exactly Sarah wanted to get out of this. Yeah, and whether any of these structures would fit.
Nice.
No,
That's
it's
a
very
good side effect from liberating structures. So be very clear on what you want to do. And last but not least, we have Christine.
Well, this has been the perfect warm up. First, I would thank my consultant group, and we also, I think, had Marcos dropped off. But the situation is I've been asked to come to a conference for a large faith-based denomination that the person that I had worked with long ago asked me. She's transferred out to California and the Pacific Islands are her responsibility, and they're having a gathering in a month. And at the end of the last call, she said, oh, maybe you want to do a pre-conference before the gathering because you could get some excitement going and some relationships. And so what I realized, again, listening to you all and even with our group, is that I have some sense of the critical objectives, but I really need to go back to her and say, here's based on these objectives, we could do something like this, or based on these objectives, we could do something like this, like to not design too much until I get back to her and get some more clarity on, yes, this is what would be the most useful. So the pre-conference session that I would do would be about 90 minutes. It would be virtual and people would attend that. It's an option to attend that before they would come to be in person in a month's time. What we did know, and it made sense, is that that we'd want to do something tied to relationship building, and mostly we thought about relationships tied to what's working well. So something about what are you most excited about, any of those things that would help people talk about what's working, either appreciative inquiry or choosing prompts in the abundant greetings to help people really share some of the good stuff. Then we talked about maybe using, I don't see it on here, but we talked about wise crowds or some way to group people in shared interests. These are all faith-based congregations that have different social issue areas, and so people might be coming because their focus is on health. Others might be coming around their focus is on children or poverty. So we thought, what could we do that's exciting, but also then would help them if they have challenges. Social network webbing was another one that we chatted about, just like if the goal is to help people see that you are going to create a little network around interest areas in the pre-conference, but prepare to go to a conference where you're really like, how can you find people that can help you with your challenges and that you could share what's really working with others. I think that's where I'll stop. Consultants, what else did you want to share? I feel really good to be able to go and mostly get clarified objectives and have different strings based on what those objectives are.
Yeah, I'll just add that Marcos had suggested slide and share, like people could talk about something they're excited about, or like, as a, you know, people might be doing something innovative or unusual, or just want to share where they are. And then the idea of the wise crowds would be that maybe they're working on a challenge they're dealing with.
The other thing that that was suggested, which I don't know, but I can ask about, is there some registration data that would already show like what parts of the region people are coming from or what issue areas they're working on? It's making me think about I need to not have assumptions about language issues. You know, this is like 7 different time zones, so it really could be, I need to ask about time zones and maybe cultural issues too. Probably not all people like Dr. Joy are going to be up at like 1 a.m. So, you know, how is it that I understand some of those realities and design for that? So
Nice.
Thanks a lot to my team.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So I'll send you the link for this document. So if you want to make a copy or keep it to yourself, you can just make a copy right now or later. And to close, we have 5 minutes. So pause your camera for a while, breathe, and reflect. What is your takeaway from this wise crowds gathering? And when you're ready, you can turn your camera on. And to make it quick and fun, we'll be doing the chat storm. So you write your answer in the chat, but don't press enter. And then we'll be doing this all together. Okay. Put your hands in the air if you're ready. And also put some pressure on people still writing. No pressure. Okay. Are we all ready?
Oh, sorry.
Sarah.
I know.
It's bad luck for 7 years.
Don't say that.
3, 2, 1, go. Let's save Sarah. Oh, yeah, critical objectives. Very nice, guys. So thank you for coming and sharing your knowledge. I hope you learned something, have fun, connect with nice people. Share your LinkedIn's and emails or whatever if you need to connect with people. And see you next month. And actually, we have one more practice this month with Simon about learning arches. So you will receive this in your emails, but it will be an awesome exercise that he'll be leading us. I did this exercise with him last week. It's amazing. So I really want to invite you for that. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. It was wonderful.
Really